some ass.
Let's get our fucking shit together and kick some fucking ass!
If you guys are wondering what that applause for, it's because young greenhorn Kevin Bennett was on SmackDown Live, and we're going to do a little celebration right now. Instead of an intro, we found a really crappy applause on YouTube.
It was for our producer brother Kevin Bennett making an appearance on WWE television, WWE SmackDown Live.
Yep.
This past Tuesday night. I was wondering how we were going to...
Actual match.
Yeah, like a legit, straight-up match.
Yeah.
It's big stuff, Kev.
Hell yeah. It was, man. That was like big time.
It's a big deal, man. It's I literally just told him the day before. Like, I mean, I'm extra proud of him because that was like my career for 5 years, was doing extra work and doing jobs. But extra work it's a really long day at WWE, and there's a lot of downtime, and sometimes it feels kind of defeating because like the night before you did the No Way Jose Congo line, and they're just kind of like, I'm just a nobody, blah blah blah. But the whole point is that you've been there. Was that your second or third time now? Third time going there for a loop. And I said I sent him the text the night before, and I just said, hey man, I know it's a long day, you're just doing the Congo line thing, but the whole idea is for you to be showing your face around there and get more comfortable, and then that way when something big comes up, they'll pick you for it. Yeah. And then the next day he wrestles Cien Almas's second match on WWE television. Dean Malenko picked him out of the bunch.
Arguably, in my opinion, one of the best wrestlers in WWE right now.
Cien Almas? Yeah.
And like the thing I texted you that day, it was like about how Eddie, you were talking about how stiff he was. And then like there's that story of Eddie Guerrero like squashing Jimmy Jacobs, and Jimmy Jacobs was like, Eddie Guerrero came up to him and said like, hey man, I'm really sorry, this is what it is. And then just kicked.
Yeah, just a heads up, this is gonna suck.
People were like I heard people, saying like talking amongst each other, saying like, oh, get ready for this. And Malenko made like a comment to me. He's like, hopefully you're not gonna be in that ambulance tonight.
Oh god. Yeah.
And,
just trying to get in your head.
People like kind of like, because they knew that the match was coming up, so they're like, oh, get ready for this. This kid's about to get fucked up.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm like,
they used to do that to Colin Delaney too. He has the same story.
Yeah.
But you said like your mom kind of said the same thing.
She talked about it today.
Yes.
They brought it up. She goes, I thought about it. That's really mean what they did to that kid. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Mom, they didn't even like tell his name.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Legit.
Kev was opponent, and then a local competitor.
Well, that was the thing that they said.
He said like "Good night, young prince" or something like that before he lost. But my mom was I didn't even know my mom was going to watch it, but I had her DVR it so I could watch it. And then like a day later, she was like, yeah, I watched that thing with Kevin. Jeez, that was just, I was like, yeah, Mom, it's like the same stuff I used to do. And she goes, yeah, but that was way worse. I was like, oh, jeez. So yeah, man, we're proud of you, Kev.
But,
Thank you.
yeah, it's a big one for the.
Yeah, something I can check off.
Yeah, it's a good start, man. It's a real good start.
It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It was a big deal. Welcome to Kickin Ass with Jesse
and Andy.
Brought to you by American Barbell Club. Yep. We have a very this is a very special. This is a different special episode.
This is a huge episode.
Yeah, it's our biggest guest by far,
for sure. So that day, I thought that Jesse would have given Stevie Richards the Iggy.
Yeah,
on
this is a good story.
To be on the podcast. So I just like walk in and I'm like, oh hey man, really stoked to have you on the podcast. And he's like, oh, I'm not doing a podcast today. I was like, oh, Jesse didn't talk to you about that. No. Well, do you want to do our podcast today? He's like, yeah, I'll do a podcast. And he was like, yeah, man, I got gear at home. We just do it over Skype. Blah, blah, it'd be awesome. And I was like, nah.
we got stuff, man.
Nah.
We'll take care of this tonight.
Yeah.
That was like, to me, that like, I'm embarrassed because it's like, I feel like that's wrestling just screwed me up so bad because I was literally just waiting for the, like I'd already talked to Stevie through text. I had seen him a little bit that day, and I was just waiting for the perfect opportune time to be like, hey man, because I don't know, just that sentence of, hey man, you want to do my podcast?
Oh, it's
like,
so demeaning.
yeah, you got it. It's really,
you think it's demeaning, but like, I guess maybe
It shouldn't.
We gotta just start
shouldn't
sending an email to dudes and just be like, "Hey, would you guys mind doing the podcast?"
I feel like that's even worse.
I don't think so.
No,
I
feel like
think so.
because someone we know.
Especially in your because you're at ESW, you're kind of like Booker Man there. So
Yeah.
like, it's like, hey, I also do this podcast. If you'd be interested, I'd like to have you as a guest.
Yeah.
I bet you 9 times out of 10 a dude would be like, "Oh fuck yeah,
Yeah,
of course."
I mean, that's exactly what Stevie was like, and then.
Yeah.
He was. I think. Like I saw him like halfway through the night, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I talked to your buddy about doing the podcast." I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah." I was just waiting to, and then I was just waiting for I was just trying to pick my spot with it. And he was like, "Oh, come on, man. Like you don't got to worry about that stuff with me." Like
Yeah.
he was like super cool about it. And then it's even. I mean, I literally thought we were going to talk to him in the back room for like 20 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And then we went at least 40, 45.
We forgot to bring up Kevin in that.
Oh yeah, him
too.
beating up 16-year-old Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's been getting squashed since he was 16.
It's going.
Still getting squashed to this day.
Exactly. Because you've told the story on the podcast before, but basically, young Buffalo HBK Kevin Bennett worked Stevie Richards in a tag match when he was like 16 years old.
And he fucking stiffed you on a power bomb.
Power bombed the shit out of you, right? Yeah.
It was like the stiffest ring I've ever been in.
Yeah, and didn't your tag team go over on him and Nunzio too?
Like a double bulldog.
Yeah, two like 16. Like imagine being the promoter, and be like, "Oh yeah, Stevie and Nunzio or Guido, these two 16-year-old kids are gonna beat you guys tonight," because we know that looks really realistic. Like Stevie Richards is like
30 pounds.
Yeah, Stevie Richards is like 6'5". Like what the fuck?
He was huge.
He was cool as shit though, man.
So cool. Like that was like, I mean, for you and I, that's like, I don't think you and I would be sitting in this room together if it wasn't for ECW.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
100%.
Yeah.
He was a mainstay. I like that. I'm glad we even got to ask him about. I mean, he got like a major injury in Buffalo.
Yeah.
In ECW.
I mean, that's the podcast kind of starts really weird. Like,
Yeah, we just kind of went.
yeah, just I hit the space bar and boom, he was already talking about an injury, and he's talking about like basically when they had to go in and fix his neck, they had to go through his
Yeah, they
throat.
went through the front,
Yeah, and like
but they damaged the cord, right?
his larynx got fucked up.
Yep.
And what he's talking about when the interview starts is this drug that they had to put him on to basically. They had to put some sort of drug on him.
It was like a steroid. And he said, like,
Yeah.
yes, his face was all puffy in TNA.
Yeah.
Like he made him keep a lot of weight.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That guy was like, he's mind blowing to me just for the simple fact that there's so much more to him than what you know about him, which
Yeah.
is like, obviously that's the allure, I guess, of wrestling is that, you think that these guys are characters and that's it, Like, Stevie Richards probably lives in the back room of Raven's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just comes out that there's like a ton more of him. And he's a really, really intelligent dude.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to hear what he does because
He's really smart.
He beat my expectations on like everything. You know what I mean? We talked wrestling a lot, but like we could have probably talked about anything, and we probably could have. I mean, I feel like if they didn't give us the wrap up sign,
Yeah.
we probably would have talked for an hour.
But
more.
at least I think the impressive thing with Stevie is like he's done a lot. Like I don't know. I think we talked about,
worked for
but
every
he's worked for every major company. He was
Yeah.
and during like prime years too, like ECW in its prime,
Yeah.
like WCW, WWF, like during prime years,
Yeah.
and even the little stuff he did with TNA while they were hot. Like, but the fact that he's done all that stuff and he's still such an incredibly normal guy and an incredibly nice guy,
For sure.
and the fact that like he still like can go really hard.
Oh yeah, and that was the thing that night. I mean, he wrestled Big Bill
Yeah.
in a singles. And was like bumping his ass off,
Yeah.
and like went and had like a great time. Like,
Yeah. I told him this on the podcast, but it was just that stuff. Like you've said, it inspires you. Young guys can inspire you, but like to me, a lot of times too, it's when like veteran guys come in and like
For sure.
Stevie Richards was excited to wrestle in front of 400 people at a packed little bingo hall at ESW.
like being
Like he was like he watched Big Bill's matches the night before.
Yeah.
He was stoked.
being injured right now, I have to like basically take a weird analytical look at wrestling. So now it's like studying more than ever. So like seeing Gangrel come in and like it's fucking Gangrel, and he wrestled a 155-pound man with cerebral palsy and took him just as serious as he would anyone else because Gregory Iron's that good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he could have came into it like that, exactly how I said it, like on paper.
Yep.
I'm wrestling a 155-pound dude.
Yep.
That has cerebral palsy.
Yeah, so I'm not going to take this serious at all.
And then Gangrel bumped his ass off for Greg.
Yep.
Made Greg look like $1 trillion.
Let's let Greg call the whole match.
Yeah, Greg made him look like $1 trillion. And then when they came through the curtain, Gangrel was like, you think we could have done more?
Yeah.
Like he was like, he thought that he
didn't work hard enough.
Yeah, he didn't work hard enough. And then I got the same vibe from Stevie, and then even Jimmy Jacobs that night. Like,
yeah, Jimmy killed it.
It was awesome. That whole like that type of stuff. Like when dudes like that don't have to like, they don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
No,
they've done everything.
They've already done everything. Yeah.
So why just collect the money and do the greatest hits and get the fuck out.
The cool thing about Stevie too was he went on second. He had to go on early because Bill had to get to another show, and he was like stoked about being on second. And then he sat and watched the whole rest of the show.
Yeah.
And anybody I asked him, I was like, "Hey, Stevie, this is one of my guys. I'm helping. Could you watch his stuff?" And like he talked to Puff and Mikey every night for like a half an hour. Like it was. That always means a lot too. Like they, he actually wanted to be there, which is really cool.
It was really cool.
But it's like, not to get off subject, but with the Jimmy Jacobs thing. Like I've known Jimmy Jacobs for a while. I've actually probably only done shows with him like a handful of times, but that's the hardest. That's the most excited I've ever seen him to wrestle, and that's the hardest I've ever seen him wrestle with Anthony Nicometti or Anthony Gaines from the Buffalo area. Like, dude. It was
that match
awesome.
Was great.
Yeah, and it was very cool because Nicometti, like Jimmy Jacobs, was his guy. Like that's the whole reason ESW gave him that match was because they knew he was really big on Jimmy Jacobs, and so I know that meant a lot for him to like. Because sometimes you like you were saying, sometimes you might wrestle a guy and he's just not that into it, and Jimmy just went hard, man.
It was awesome. That's like for me, like I said, like being injured and I can't physically do anything. Mentally, like that type of stuff like makes me so happy that like those dudes' bodies are banged up way more than mine are.
Yeah.
And they could probably...
And they're still doing what they do.
They could take the night off and do like an easy thing, but then Jimmy Jacobs starts calling for ladders and shit like that. It's like he doesn't know Anthony.
Yeah, is there a shovel here? Is there a ladder? Yeah. I guarantee... He told him like at this, because Jimmy's very smart and he's very good at storytelling, and there was times where he just had Anthony just kicking him in the face and slapping him, and it was like I guarantee he told him like you got to lay it in at this part. This is crucial, and it was fucking awesome.
It was awesome.
Very cool.
So that's we're gonna. Yeah, we got a little interview with Stevie Richards, which is for me was huge. Like doing the podcast, I didn't think we would get a dude like that, but
hopefully
we get more.
It's a good step up, and the travel rig kicked ass and sounds great. So we're on our way, man.
Yeah, Well, let's get to it.
Yeah, I was actually worried that we were gonna have because if anything, we never have. I was worried we were gonna go too long because the fucking Stevie Richards interview is about 45 minutes. So, yeah. Just a little intro.
There we go. Give a listen.
You were saying, though, in TNA, so, like, when you were going through all this stuff and, like, you were bloated in the face and everything, like, it sounds like you would just be off, but you kept wrestling during all this stuff, like, while you're getting tests and everything done?
Yeah, I was still wrestling full time in WWE when it first started, and the diagnosis and the false diagnosis, and then the biopsy, and then going on the medication and trying to stay in shape. Being on
and
that
you're
much
and you're on the road working at the same time.
Yeah, not exactly healthy, even if you don't have all that stuff going on. But the thing was that it just made me, just like we talked about in the locker room about how this roller coaster ride with fitness goes up and down sometimes. It just, you have to either say to yourself, okay, I'm going to feel sorry for myself and I'm going to get more bloated and more fat and more out of shape, or I got to get super accountable and super strict.
Yeah, if you do something.
And I know I'm still not going to be 100%, but at least I won't be zero.
Yeah. And like you said, because the doctors are going to push medication and stuff on you, but like you can watch your diet and exercise, and you can do something about it too.
Yeah, well, the thing with prednisone, like we were talking about before you started recording, the thing with prednisone is it's just going to have the side effects it's going to have. The insomnia,
Gives you
and with
insomnia?
fitness, I wouldn't sleep for like 3 or 4 days in a row. Well, that's why I have 1,100 videos up on YouTube. Because I got to do something.
I got a lot of work done.
I got to do something because I can't just sit here and you can only play so many video games and watch so much wrestling. But it was just really one of those times that like it looking back and even being in it, it played out like a movie that I was watching myself be in. And I was just like, this is weird. This can't be happening. And then
It's just it's such a mind fuck too. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to figure out what exactly is wrong with you, and doctors are trying to figure it out.
well, you know what it did too? Like not to sound all sentimental or cliche, but what it did was because people would judge me and not know like everything I was going through.
Yeah,
like I would be
just
not,
think you're being a baby about it.
Like I wouldn't be short tempered. I wouldn't be this and that, but I'd look really depressed and tired and this and that. In wrestling, they kind of already want to tell the story in their mind so you can have heat or something.
Yeah.
So not the kind of heat that gets you at WrestleMania like Sabu and Sandman, but the kind of heat you don't make money.
The wrong kind of
But it taught that's why I said I don't want to sound cliche, but each and everything that I've done and every mistake I've made or every way I've been perceived has allowed me to just sit back and kind of like not do that. Like if I see somebody
learn from your mistakes.
yeah, or from other people's mistakes the way they treated me,
yes,
and realize
yes.
if I see somebody acting a little weird or acting a little different or not quite fitting in with everybody, I'm not going to pile on like wrestling locker rooms sometimes do and go, ha, we're gonna make his life a living hell.
Let's fuck with that guy.
Pull him aside and realize like maybe this guy's going through a ton of stuff.
Hey man, are you okay? It could even be like a mental illness thing. Like it could be anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've done
help
that.
the guy.
I've done that plenty of times, and it's so funny. You don't think that kind of stuff matters, but like 5, 10, 15, or 20 years down the road, people remember that stuff.
Exactly.
I got a guy, my friend Pete. You ever hear Rick Ratchet?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Rick Ratchet and me were really friendly. A lot of guys ribbed him and made fun of him and stuff.
Yeah.
And now, like, he's done, like, all the runs for Orgain.
Yep.
He's created all the products for BSN, for Cellucor.
Crazy. Oh, that's
And
amazing.
he's creating my pre-workout now,
Yep.
my all natural one. So, like, not that I was nice to him thinking, well, one day maybe I'll have a pre-workout.
Well, no,
and
yeah,
Of course.
But that's just a lesson, like, you just
the
never know.
The young bucks talk about this all the time too. They're like, yeah, it's funny if you're just a good person and you're nice to people, like stuff usually works out in the end, as opposed to like you said, if you're stepping all over people and treating people like shit down the line, it'll work out better for you.
Yeah, that attitude would probably work out great in wrestling.
Yeah.
but I mean, you're a great guy. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
I've known you for a little bit, but you seem like a great guy.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't kayfabe about the podcast like he was. But I've known you forever, and you just kind of have to. If you fought so hard and long to get to a place like Impact, and they don't. I wish the companies and the promotions would appreciate that you spent like a third of a lifetime so far trying to get there. And like it's a big deal, and they shouldn't take that lightly.
Yes.
And they should invest in you just like you invested all these years to get to the point to do that.
Yeah.
But that's
me and my wife call it like it's. I mean, we talked about it earlier too. It's like when you meet people in wrestling, it's like. Yeah, this person, they're a normal guy. They're just, me and my wife we call them wrestling weirdos when they're just people you meet in wrestling that are just strange, but not in like a life way, in like a wrestling way. They're just, you know what I mean? They just don't know how to act, and
that happens
wrestling messes them
everywhere. I mean, like even in my world, like I'm in a band, you know what I mean? So like I play music, and like you'll just meet those dudes that are like
on tour.
Yeah, but there's like some dudes that are like, how like there's that whole like cliche in wrestling too, where there's fans and students. Like you'll meet wrestlers who were fans, and then you'll meet dudes that were like complete students. Not like the two. Like all three of us, I think, are two. Like we're both.
Oh, you were a fan of wrestling.
You
were
were
a kid.
fan of wrestling and then you became a student of wrestling.
Well, you knew at one time. I knew at 15, 16 years old, this is what I wanted to do.
Of course.
And I was kind of smart enough to know that I was so afraid that the wrestlers would see me in the crowd, they wouldn't want to accept
Of course.
me. Like I didn't know,
Oh,
I didn't know
wow.
anything about anything, but I
Yeah,
thought
but you knew that.
But I kind of knew. Well, being broke helped too, and being poor.
Yeah,
Not
I
going to
couldn't
the
go.
shows.
Yeah,
But yeah, I really tried to always sit back and kind of, I guess, analyze.
Yeah.
Or maybe overanalyze stuff to try to figure out.
yeah. Sometimes that's not a bad thing though.
Dude, man, but after years in wrestling, you're never going to figure these fucking people out.
Yeah.
So you got to a
It's-
certain
some
point.
people exactly.
But I knew like you guys probably knew what you were going to do at an age because music and
course.
wrestling
Yeah.
is a passion. You just can't do it part time. You can't think about it
Yeah.
part time.
No.
You have to invest not only just, I'm going to play the guitar or play
Yeah,
the
yeah.
drums. You actually have to study music and study bands and study
Yeah.
the industry to know.
It becomes your life.
Yeah, you got to
Of
figure out
course.
what am I going to play.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
listen to news. I know we're going off topic.
No,
you
you listen to
not at all.
always in topic.
Yeah, exactly. Not just during American Psycho.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they, from what I read, they most of them love heavy metal.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Oh,
their
yeah.
money. It wasn't their money genre.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Back
they
then.
don't. They could thrash out and do a Metallica cover, but they're gonna. I mean, I'm gonna remember forever the Back to the Future soundtrack.
Of course.
with her and to,
Yep.
So
Yeah, but like you said, they're all metalheads. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like we wanted to be like. Who did you want to be when you started wrestling? Like who did you emulate?
when I was a kid, or when I
I'm gonna
actually-
ask the questions
When
now.
I, you,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, when I was a kid, or like when I actually got into wrestling when I was like 18.
Well, there's two different people.
Yeah, like when I was a kid. Actually, no. Sorry, you're right. Pretty much like Macho Man Randy Savage or like Shawn Michaels or something like that. That's always been kind of like my MO. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, like, I idolized like Hogan and stuff like that, but it's like I knew I wasn't that big of a guy, so you know what I mean? So those are the guys I kind of emulated.
Yeah, same here. Sean,
same with you?
Well, Sean, when I watched Sean, I watched him all the way back in AWA, and there was something about him, and probably because people would say when he first started in WWE, back then WWF, that I looked like him, so it
Yeah.
automatically kind
Of course.
and I didn't know I was going to be Stevie Richards. I was Michael Mann still at the time,
Yeah.
and then when I was Steve Richards, it still didn't like.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be Sean, and I started doing the kick just
Yep.
out of whatever.
Yep.
And then, what's his face? Scotty started calling me Stevie.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
I was like, well, I hope he doesn't have the trademark now. I already got it's already mine.
Putting them over.
Yeah. No, Scotty was
did a lot for you, right?
Scotty was instrumental in making me the worker I am today, and in a lot of ways making me, once again, these life lessons outside. Watching the way Scotty conducted himself and the problems that he's fully owned and admitted.
Yes. Yeah.
He
Like learned from his mistakes.
yeah. I looked at that, and like maybe there was a part of me that I've never done drugs. I'm not really a drinker. I never got into that scene with
Yeah.
any of that stuff. And maybe looking at him and looking at the guys from ECW, which it was just, dude.
Yeah.
Any story
Yeah.
you've heard.
Yeah.
Any stories you heard
Probably true.
is like the friggin' PG era, like
course.
like Saturday Morning Slam version of,
Yeah.
of what it was. And I couldn't believe. Once again, you talk about this theme. Start talking about because a lot of my career thinks like. I really do think like it's an out of body experience in a lot of ways. Where like even in being in that ring, like you guys probably know when you play and when you go out there, you go through the curtain and you're not yourself.
Yeah.
You transform into.
I do want not to cut you off. Like I watched your match tonight. Like I went in the little back corner and watched it like in the crowd because it's dark. And it was cool to see like you were genuinely excited in the ring. You know what I mean? It was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is cool, man. You could just tell you were into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You weren't just like, oh, yep, here I am. Like it was like that stuff inspires me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, dude, Stevie Richards is here. He's excited to wrestle. Like that's just fucking awesome.
the
Well,
best.
first of all, this is a blessing and a gift. If
Yeah.
anybody says, "My God, I can't believe that a company is flying me in and putting me up in a hotel
Yeah.
and giving me money and then giving me
Yeah.
the opportunity to make more money at the table,
Yep.
where all I have to do is ask other people how they are and what their name is
Yeah.
and what's
be
going on.
polite
And
to
they're
people
like-
who are a fan of you.
all I gotta do is literally spend 3 minutes with them,
Yep.
maybe more if the line's not long.
Yeah.
Most
And
of
I
them,
get-
that's probably what they'll go home talking about too.
And I get, I mean, if you ask somebody, I always try to make it a point, even though sometimes I don't remember. But if I go up and this little girl's name's Jennifer, and then when I walk by her later, and I was like, "Are you having a good time, Jennifer?" And so like, if a wrestler did that to me as a kid, I'd be
Of
like,
course.
I'd
Oh, my
never
God.
ever forget them.
Very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're the same way though, dude. Well, you just got your release from Impact.
Yep.
And I'm sure from a level of it's a lot more laid back than what you would have at WWE.
Oh,
for
yeah.
But you still, I could tell, there's a weight lifted off your shoulders where you can perform
Yep.
to your fullest ability.
Yeah.
And it's on you.
Yeah, it feels
And when you go out there with Impact or WWE or NXT or whatever, you always have to think about someone else's subjective opinion of how good you are.
Yeah, because you're not going to make. I always thought
So
you're
wild.
not going to make everybody happy. So it's like, you know what I mean. No matter what you do, someone's not going to like it. Which
Yeah.
I just feel like you need to learn to deal with that and accept it. You know what I mean? It's unfortunately that's the way it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, but Impact or whoever they're not giving you or using you to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
It could turn out to be the biggest blessing you ever had.
Oh yeah,
because,
exactly. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
you know?
and I hear that too sometimes. And I'm like, man, I'm going through it right now. I wish that fucking reason would come.
Yeah, exactly. It's
But-
like, I know it's out there. It's just sure taking its time.
But it's so weird to think in this day and age, or like we're podcasting now on a laptop and doing something that before you had to have a huge tower to do.
Oh,
and
yeah,
have
yeah,
a license
yeah.
and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
a radio station.
Yeah, but dude, I created the fitness brand. This was part of the journey. I tell you know Johnny Swinger, right?
Yep.
All right, a very dear friend of mine.
Buffalo.
And I know, I know
Buffalo, yeah.
he'll be up here in July, so when he listens to this, he'll be hot. But I know we're jumping around, but a lot of this stuff, Swinger's in incredible shape. He's
Yes.
43 years old. He works out in the way that's very safe and very, very relatable to people.
Yeah,
Much like
which
I
is
try to and do. I don't do all
crucial.
this crazy.
He's been in shape for a long time.
Yeah, he's never looked bad.
Yep.
He's always look good.
But the thing with him was, and it once again teaches me another lesson that I'm trying to pass on to him is,
Yep.
relying on wrestling is probably the most toxic thing you can ever do in your life.
Yeah.
And you'll never get rewarded for putting the time and thought you put in.
Of course.
To this.
Generally, yes.
Generally. I mean,
Yeah.
here, it's a little, I watched 3 or 4 or 5 matches of Bill because I want to get an idea so we can have a good match.
Of course.
That's investing his time.
Awesome.
But
Which do you know that is like it's so refreshing
Like,
to
how cool
know.
is that
Like
to hear?
I like it just blew my mind. I'm pretty fresh at this. I'm within like 3 years, and I'm 40 years old. So like I didn't start young. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I trained when I was younger, but got hurt, and that was the catalyst for me to start the band. But like doing this for as short as I've done it, and being around dudes that are like in the same boat you are, where it's just like you've been around forever, you've done everything. Sometimes you just don't see that fire anymore, and it's a kick in the balls. Like, cause you're like, for me, obviously, I think I'm 18 still. I'm 40, but like,
okay.
I feel
That's
like I'm
okay.
18.
Listen.
And when I'm around, like, when I see that, I'm just like, God damn, like this is so cool. Like you said earlier, like it's so cool that like you get to come through in any facet. Like you get to come through an apron and people are there to see you do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Is insane. Whether it's one person, 100 people, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, it's so cool. Like, and just see you just say like,
Just recognize
I watched matches of Bill's because I want to have a good match. It's just like that's awesome.
Well, that's what I'm being. It's not like it's like kind of like I didn't kill anybody today. What do you want, a fucking cookie?
Yeah,
I mean, like you're
That's a
just
good way to put it.
you're I'm supposed to do that.
Of course.
Yeah.
The company wants me to do that. They want me to come in. Pepper wants me to come in. The promoter and the fans want me to come in and further his career. I'm not. Furthering Bill's career doesn't hurt me at all. I know how good I am.
Yep.
But the real, it's hard to say because people probably might be like, man, he's like ready for one more run or he's going to go back, and I hear that a lot. No, that's not the plan. I'm sort of beyond that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I know my place in the business, and I fully accept it, and I
Yep.
need to leave the business and leave these kids in a better place,
Of course.
than when I come in. The fitness brand that I have, Stevie Richards Fitness, excites me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, you create an online fitness brand, and that's what I was trying to tell Swinger.
Yeah.
Dude, I wake up in the morning and I have 2 resistance band program sales, and it's like found money, like wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did the 2 or 3 days worth of work. I support it as it goes
Yeah,
along.
like you did it. It's helping people.
But that's going off of something that I worked 2 long days, but 2 full days in December to
Yeah.
create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still
Yeah, that's
profiting
awesome.
off of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still making money off
Exactly.
it, and people are investing in it, and that's also cool too because
And it's helping people.
yeah, because if I was like, I always look at it in absolutes. Like, if I was just in kind of good shape, I'd only kind of have a few clients. I have to be the very best that I can be. Not saying I have to be better.
Nobody wants to go to the fat personal trainer. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean,
they're
the
out
ones
there.
that are good salesmen, they do. I was going to say I might not be in Pepper Park shape, but I'm trying. But I do that stuff and try to have that same passion,
Yeah.
but also that same, like in the locker room, like you see, I don't want to be the guy who comes in
Bums
that,
everybody out.
Is my wife calling?
No, that's okay.
She is.
Hey, man.
Hey, baby, I'm recording a podcast right now.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the podcast right now. I'm recording it.
What?
You're on a podcast right now. I'm recording it.
This is great.
Oh, all right, love you, bye.
No, what are you getting
super
off the
nice.
phone for?
No, because you're recording your podcast.
Okay. Are you going to be up for a little bit? You guys can leave this in, by the way.
100%.
What's that?
I said I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I didn't hear back from my last couple texts. That's all.
Oh, I didn't get those. I had the phone away from me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to make sure you're good. So just finish your podcast. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right. Love you.
All right, love you too. Bye.
Promise we'll leave that in.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But you, because you have
I
the
usually answer, but,
yeah.
there we go.
The YouTube channel, it was Stevie Richards Fitness.
Well, I started it when I started the tech channel. That's why all this podcasting stuff was familiar with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember you talking about the tech channel a long
Yeah,
time ago.
January 2007 is when I started that, because I'll tell you how it started. And this is once again another thing that wrestling people or wrestlers can help themselves mentally and emotionally with this business.
Yeah.
Because not all the time are you allowed to create your own magic. Not always are you able to have a full creative output,
Especially in pro wrestling, like a sport that's written.
and especially in WWE. Yeah, I was at the height of just being, no matter what kind of shape I was in, no matter how hard I worked, no matter how good me and Punk worked together, and anybody else, I was not the guy. I was just.
And I can imagine it's very demoralizing.
Yeah,
after a
the
while.
money never got better, and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff just
But
made
you
me feel-
did get the team with Bull Buchanan.
I did. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. But remember, that was 7-8 years before that.
Yeah.
So I can only live off of that forever. But I totally recall this because it was once again demoralizing, but it taught me to. I'm just going to do my own thing.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, kind of thing.
Brian Kalinowski, I know the name. Please don't sue me. I don't want one of those punk lawsuits
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Dr.
we're
Ahmad.
good.
But I walked up to him and they wanted to do something to show what they're doing today, showing WWE guys outside like Xavier Woods with the video games, Zack Ryder unboxings. And I had pitched them because I wanted to do a tech channel. I really wanted to get free stuff to test out
Of
and
course,
everything. But I wanted
which
to
is
do
great.
reviews and I wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea." And I had all this stuff professionally put out where I wanted to be in year 1, year 2, year 3. I thought I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so
Put it all
fucking
mapped
smart.
out. Hell yeah.
Because I'm meeting with the vice president of like digital media or whatever we was
Yeah.
at the time. And he goes, "Oh, this is great. Yeah, you can come in. You have a phone, and you're going to start talking about it." And then Mr. Kennedy comes in, and he comes over, and he smacks the shit out of you and hits you over the head with the phone. And I was like, and I didn't even understand like where I was at the time, but I was like, "That's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard." So my friend, and I think I got heat for that.
Yeah.
And then I walked down in there and I said, "Fuck it, I'm starting my own.
I'm okay, thank you.
I'm okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, though.
I'm starting my own fucking YouTube channel.
Yep.
The hell with this guy, the hell with this company in a
Yeah.
way. I'm not going to be here
Because-
much. And I already knew, like, I've been there, like, at that time, 8.5 years. I'm like, I'm not going to be here much longer.
Yep.
I'm just going to start it. So January 2007, I started doing the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I had no clue. Did the old thing with bad audio, wrapping my hand around the camera, doing the. I didn't know what I was doing.
But the
I was
thing
just-
is, like, you like right there, you just said, like, I always like I'm a very observing person. Like, I sit back a lot and I just pay attention to what people say. And like, there's a few times where like we'll be together and like we like traveled with like MVP for a couple shows, and he just said the sentence like, "Oh, when I wrestled Ric Flair in Madison Square Garden," and then just kept talking, and I was like, "Dude, say that again."
Yeah.
That's insane. Like you
Yeah,
wrestled there.
you've done some
so,
stuff.
like you saying like, I wasn't very smart. Like you were forward thinking about that tech channel before it even. You just realized that you had to do it yourself, which is extremely smart. Like for me, like that is like, and that's before that stuff was even a thing. Like that's
the problem. I'm a little ahead of the curve.
You're too ahead of the game.
But I mean, that was like they're the ones that had to catch up to you. You know what I mean? And it just sucks because at that time they were thinking gimmick, and you were thinking like this could be really cool.
Thing.
Well, they wanted me to, I'm not really that much of a goof or a putz outside wrestling that gets beat up every time. Like that was the thing. You wanted the real thing. And I had done the tech channel. See, it was smart at the time, but probably not in the long run.
Yeah.
I did it under my real name because I wanted to succeed or fail from scratch. I didn't want to crutch. And also, in today's age, obviously, you have wrestling fans that troll the guys and try to do whatever and everything. So I wanted it under my real name to be completely under the radar, where a lot of companies didn't even know I was a wrestler, and they sent me products. So that, to me, that was like the biggest,
it says a lot.
Because they weren't going like, I'm a fan and I'm going to do.
Exactly.
Now I kind of melded the two, and I'm doing this Stevie Richards, and I got the fitness stuff, and I the brand, like with you guys, your name is the brand, so you have to learn how to embrace it. But I avoided it for so long. I feel like it's
a good idea to start, though. You know what I mean? And then plus, like too, if you get into like copyrighted names and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story I never told. I did it. See, this is where, like, guys in wrestling, like, I stopped taking so much personally because they already hurt me personally a million different ways with the voodoo doll or whatever. Yep. They already hurt me so many different ways. I was numb.
Nothing else. Yeah.
So I could have been released in a day, a week, a month, or however long it was after this happened. But they wanted to. Once again, when I was trying to get when I was due to get a raise in my contract, they'd always renegotiate and drop me back down to 75.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every single time I was due for a raise.
Yeah.
They were just trying to get me to either quit or didn't care.
Yeah.
There was a point here and there where I was like, I'm going to go to TNA. Like there was when they shaved Raven's head, and remember it was Vampiro?
Yeah.
There was a quick second where that was going to be me.
Oh, okay.
And I was going to quit I was going to quit WWE, and I was just going to go there.
It's cool. You had other
and
options.
didn't even care about the no compete or whatever.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a smart thing to do financially.
Yeah.
At the time.
It's taking a chance.
So Johnny Ace sits down with me, and he wants to renegotiate my deal, which means I'm getting less money. When you're renegotiating, everybody thinks like I have all the power, and like I was like, oh no. So he sat there and like went through the whole thing. He just told me it wasn't like we were going line by line, and I got to cross stuff out initially.
Yeah, I think this there.
But I did say one thing, and to this day, it was probably the best investment I could have, or the best. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like a personal investment,
not a
almost?
perk, but the best demand I ever could have made without demanding of course, like this is what I need. Yeah, I said, okay, I understand you guys have Steven Richards. Steven Richards is the Right to Censor character. I understand you created that, but I've been Stevie Richards since 1991, essentially. Stevie.
Of course.
I would love to own my name.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you could throw an addendum in this contract where I own my name.
Yep.
And the blessing, in a way, was they had destroyed the name so much in their mind because he was like,
they didn't care.
Sure, your name's not worth anything anyway. This is a great point. This talent relations is really motivational.
Yeah.
It's like your name's not worth anything anyway. So
straight to your face.
That won't be a problem to get. He probably meant it in a way like this isn't going to be a problem to push through because they consider it.
He just worded it horribly.
He left out a few pronouns like Vince or this. He made it sound like it was like the world fucking knew, and it was on every major news station how worthless my name was. And I was like, and I walked out of there, and that was like one of the first times where I was just like, I used what they thought was not being over at all, not doing anything. And I said, this is probably the first step. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I own this. And even to today, like right now, Stevie Richards Fitness,
that's what I was just going to say.
They can't step in.
Yeah, to this day, to right now, like how much does that help you to have the name Stevie Richards for your fitness stuff? You know
it's like, okay, well, my name my name's not destroyed in wrestling because people remember what they know now.
Dude, if you're a wrestling fan, people know the name Stevie Richards.
But I mean,
which says a lot.
I'm not currently like. It's more nostalgic now, which is good.
Yeah,
all
that's fine.
all the 4 years of putting people over every single week has gone away because people don't remember
you
that.
work for every major company, man. You know what I mean?
No, that's cool. I totally don't mean it in a bad way. It worked out better. And the thing that I always tell Swinger is, and we said before, and I've always said, like, since I started convincing myself that, dude, wrestling is such a microcosm of what you can do with your name.
Yeah.
Look what Tyrus is doing. Look what he's doing in Fox News with Greg. He transcends wrestling. Wrestling can kind of hold him back in a way.
Yeah.
So that's why I look
like
at
you said, I mean, he wasn't like a main event player or anything like that. You know what I mean? So like the fact that he can take his name and go do other things with it, it's huge.
Yeah.
You know?
And on a side note, I mean, Impact was completely stupid for not featuring him.
Capitalizing.
They didn't. They just ignored it. It was crazy.
Legit.
I mean, that's once again, like, you're counting on someone's subjective point of view of you. Like, I would have just immediately did a gimmick change, and he would have been the super conservative person. I would have had debates with liberal people.
The
I
stuff
would
they
have
see
had
on
it so
Fox News,
current. Yeah, absolutely. And then turn an angle out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It would be smart.
So, but, moving forward, like, I can do anything with the Stevie Richards name.
Yes.
I can do anything. Every day I wake up, I have the tools, and you guys know you have all this stuff going on here.
Yeah.
You have the tools to make a business in like fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can do whatever
You
you
get
want.
a Gmail account, you have a YouTube channel, you have a podcast, you go to
It's
LegalZoom,
so cool.
incorporate yourself.
Yeah.
You have a business, you're ready to go.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man. It's like, and then I've talked about this on here before, but it's like, I don't know, the attitude of like, some people get the attitude of like, oh, starting a podcast, like, everybody has a podcast and da-da-da-da. It's like, no, your attitude should be, like, if you're in wrestling or if you're in music or if you're a stand-up comedian, like, if you don't have a podcast, it's kind of, you're kind of an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, you should
have something. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's,
put yourself out there. It's like, use these tools to further yourself.
Well, this is the thing. Also, I was told when I started, because I was a skinny little kid, had no look to him, whatever. There's a million other wrestlers out there. What makes you think you can? If I listen to that,
yeah,
because it's been oversaturated for 40 years.
yeah.
Same thing in music. What are
course.
you going to do? I mean, how are you going to compare to Nirvana or Rolling Stones?
I hate that.
You're
outlook.
not, because they could never be
exist.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They can never be you. They never lived your life. They never lived my life. Or any of that stuff. It's just amazing. And also, like, do it because you love it.
Exactly.
Do it because you enjoy it.
Exactly.
Use it as a hobby.
100%.
Like, that's something I'll name drop again. Sean Devari and Swinger, always when I was doing this stuff, they would get on me. Swinger not so much. He ribs me because he knows, like, but Devari would get like hot sometimes because he would be like, why are you doing a YouTube channel? What's the payoff? It's like, I enjoy doing it. I go, the payoff will come.
Yeah.
These skills I'm building up will be, and they have been for the fitness stuff, because I don't have to hire anybody to do it.
Yeah.
Why would you do it? You don't know what the payoff is. Why would you do it? And I was like, that's such
Not the point, yeah.
well, that's somewhat of a bad wrestler's attitude, but not so unnormal,
I know.
not so
But I know exactly what you're saying.
abnormal. When you work, you're working backwards because what's the payoff going to be? Now I'll work hard. It's almost like if Impact or WWE or NXT or wherever you're going to end up next, if you got out of shape and they go, hey man, we'll hire you, but you got to get into shape.
Yeah.
Well, give me my guaranteed contract and then I'll get into shape.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No, exactly.
And that's the stuff with podcasting, doing all this stuff. I mean,
they say starting any business, you have to expect to not make money for the first year. So So what you're doing, you better enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Getting into wrestling. Like, how long did it take you to start actually making money at wrestling? Like, you better enjoy it because there's going to be a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, you're gonna. First year, there's gonna be periods.
Yeah.
You're not making any money.
Yeah, you're actually going to
you're
be paying to do this. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I would. The thing too about I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it, CTE. So I was kicking in.
I did when you because you were talking about your neck earlier, and that was. Was that from the guardrail?
That was right here in Buffalo.
I say it was in
Yeah,
Buffalo, right?
yeah, man.
Because I remember when they did that angle in WWE, like I was at that show when Funk had the guardrail on his head, and I didn't remember.
No, this was the guardrail where he dropped it across my neck.
Oh, that's right.
Where he was trying to hit me like like a chair shot in the back, but
He dropped it, right? Did you not?
He put it down like he
Yes.
threw it down, and the big round part at the top is what clipped me in the back of the neck. So the actual guardrail hit me in the back, which, dude. What are you gonna say? I'm a 23-year-old guy or whatever,
Yeah.
and Terry Funk wants to do this spot. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Of course I didn't feel comfortable. Of course I was like,
Getting a guardrail
but
dropped
I
on
was
your
like
head?
50 other things I didn't feel comfortable with. I turned out okay.
Yeah, those were.
So I was due.
I forgot that was in Buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. But you know what? Looking back on it, this is the funny part. Looking way back on it, because I think at that time with what I was doing in ECW, I was fast tracked to go to WCW or WWE, more than likely WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, there was talk about me with DX and stuff like that. And
Yep.
dude, no way, no how was I even mature enough to be in that WWF locker room at that time
Yep.
with the guys they had. And,
So like you said, that's
and-
why everything happens for a reason.
And what if I did go? I went to WCW. I
Yep.
wasn't making great money, but I was in a series of like little rash decisions that made me mature quick too.
Yeah.
But if I went to WWE and say they threw me into DX,
Yeah.
I had a ton of heat, because you always have a ton of heat if you're a new guy.
Exactly.
Of course.
But they threw me in angles. I couldn't work these matches, but I was
you think they
making
would-
money. I
think they
was,
would
I,
have
and
alive?
then and then all these, this level of expectation of what I think about what I deserve from the business.
Yep.
What I'm entitled to.
Yeah.
I would become like, what those people, those WCW guys, they say turned into when they were just like, I don't feel like working, I got to hang now, or I want $1 million. I wouldn't even know the value of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, well, of course. I mean, of course, you make $100,000 a year. That's like that's what I need to live.
Yeah. what am I going to do without that?
That's not that totally taught me that not only after WCW when I had the neck stuff and then the voice stuff.
Yep.
And the phone stopped ringing and nobody called me, and the people I thought were my friends weren't my friends. They were just wrestling friends.
Yes.
And some people maybe deservedly, because maybe my attitude wasn't the greatest.
Of course.
But I was absolutely, completely broke.
Yeah.
To the point where I couldn't pay my rent. I had to go back wrestling 5 months after my neck surgery.
That's terrifying.
And 2 months after my vocal implant. No, it's not terrible. It's just like I had to do it.
Yeah.
And then I wrestled that year and prayed to God every day I wouldn't be back where I was.
Yeah.
And then I actually went to school for computers, which was the basis on.
Of course.
And I was ready to leave the business completely because I had a job at a college. I was
Yep.
going to start collecting associate's degrees
Uh-huh.
at Community College of Philadelphia. And then Terry Taylor called and ruined my life. Because once you think you left,
Totally
he didn't ruin my life.
Totally different direction.
I could have been a very normal, very,
Yeah.
I thought I was, but I didn't go to WWE either because I need to make big money. This was my runner, this and that. I had to prove to myself that I could leave.
You could do that first?
I could leave a different mark on wrestling.
Yeah.
Because the end of ECW was just like, okay, he went to WCW, came back, one match with Chris Chetty. He got hurt. They think it was a shoot. He didn't shoot on me. We just did that to do that.
Yep.
But I look like I got run out of the business in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I left with my tail between my legs, and I was like, nah, I mean, at least if I go to WWE, even if it's 6 months, a year,
Yeah, give it a shot.
I went there, I was there, and I can just that's what I said, man, I'm just going to be there like a year. I'm not going to fit in there. I'll just
crazy.
come in, put guys over, go back to the Indies.
Yeah.
Dude, it
Get
was
my run on the
almost
Indies.
10 years.
Yeah.
Your first run on WWE was about 10 years?
99 to 2008.
That's all. And I mean, that was like Attitude Era, like the main.
I ended the Attitude Era, and then the,
early 2000s.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
Right to Censor had to end the Attitude Era. That was why it was created, to kind of, bring it back a little bit. And then the WCW thing, I was there when they got bought. I was there when I was there during that whole deal, man.
There was some fucking big shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wanted, because he was asking about the WCW stuff.
I have a
'Cause
lot of
I didn't,
We
I
never
didn't-
got to it. I'm sorry.
So,
No,
no,
it's
because
okay.
I didn't. It's cool for me to watch because I was more of a WWF guy. When they brought you into WCW, were you right into like the angle with Raven? Was that like the?
I was
first
part
thing?
of the flock. I was when
Right
they
away?
brought me in.
Yeah.
I was the
You
guy.
were the first guy, though.
I was the first guy. Yeah,
Yeah, just
I
you
was-
and Raven, right?
I was important. to
Even
come in.
before Raven. Because they were
No,
doing
Raven was in the crowd, and I came out of nowhere and told Mike Tenay not to
the
ask him any questions. Yeah,
with the contract too. You had the contract. That was like the first question I had was about the shirts you would wear compared to the Raven shirts, which I always thought, and I loved Raven, but like I always thought that you were more interesting because you played like the perfect sidekick.
Yeah.
For when it didn't. I was like, I always wanted to know the psychology of it. Like if it was one of those things where Raven was kind of helping you along with that, or if you just
it was all Raven in the beginning. I didn't embrace it at first because if you hear somebody say wants you to wear Daisy Duke shorts and a half shirt. Now the 80s,
Get that over, would you please?
The 80s stuff I was into anyway.
Okay,
but in the late 90s.
Yeah.
But the questions I had, that was like one of the questions I had because he would wear like, there was like a point in time where like it almost seemed like, and now I feel bad because you said you're like into it, but he would always wear like a current, like he would wear like a Ministry shirt.
Yeah.
And then you would be
Dinosaur
rocking
Jr.
like
Striper
like
or Poison or one.
No,
No, but that's what's missing from wrestling today.
Yeah.
We're the antithesis of each other, but we're brought together. That was when, instead of, you know the promo, right? You come back here and you guys are eyeing each other up, and you're staring, and you're like, I don't like you, and you don't like me. Let's go out and win the tag titles tonight. That's the way they do. Me and Raven were opposites that attracted in a way where
there was a lot more layers. There's a lot more layers.
Sometimes you don't have to tell people that you're an odd couple every time.
Of course, I just like the fact that like remember the old Looney Tune comics of Spike the dog, and then Spike the dog had the little dog that would jump over him and like kind of like
that's what Raven used to call us too.
But that
you're
was
absolutely
like,
right.
Okay, so that was I wanted to always know if that was one of the inspirations of that whole character set between you guys. But the best part about it was that most of the time, like the sidekicks would go out there and they would just get squashed, and then the hero would have to like come in or whatever. Like his
because he was the stronger
guy.
Yeah.
I always appreciated your matches because your matches were never squashes. They were always matches that were super competitive, and I almost would always geek out over your matches. And I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me, but like I used to always geek out over your matches compared to Raven's matches because Raven's matches were kind of like expected. You knew it was kind of like where it was going to go, unless there was like some sort of gimmick involved in it. But then you would go out there and have these like competitive matches and like do shit, and it would be like, oh shit, like I want to see more of that guy. And then when you guys kind of branched off, I got really stoked about that. Like, so it was awesome that you always kind of had that like, hey, yeah, go get him, Spike, thing. But then you would go out and like handle yourself completely fine. And if it was something like, I don't know, 911 would come out and like smoke you or something like that. So it was like, okay, obviously like 911 is going to smoke you. Like he's 911.
Yeah. That's just, it's acceptable. Nobody gets hurt by something like that.
Of course.
It doesn't do.
Yeah. But I always appreciated your work as like the sidekick that could just carry himself. Like it wasn't even a sidekick. It was just, like you said, almost like an odd couple. I never saw it that way. It was to me like, oh yeah, like that's Raven's sidekick. But now that you say that, it was like a perfect odd couple situation where it was like, even like the way you guys both wrestled, like you were fast, he was more methodical. You know what I mean? Like it just, everything was kind of
that's all Raven, man. I thank you. I appreciate that. You know what you did? You don't ever get to see this anymore.
Yeah.
I literally, in and out of the ring, was maturing, growing up.
Yeah.
People got to see me grow up. That's why you had an interest. Raven accentuated that just like I accentuated his character.
Yeah.
Also in the ECW, by the way, that like a lot of that stuff you really were fighting for your life. And I was very, I'm not a tough guy, and I also get really nervous and scared. I'm all these things.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like we talked about, that once the music hit and the bell rings, it's like, well, I'm gonna get my ass handed to me anyway, so I'm gonna get like that. That's probably why it came through that way.
Yeah, it came across that way.
Like, okay, well, you see some of my matches where I kind of get eaten up a little bit, and then I just go start fighting back.
Yeah,
well,
here we go.
I'm gonna get heat, but I mean,
screw it.
What can I do? That Sabu match was exactly like that. Sabu was eating me alive.
Yeah.
And then I just finally had enough, man.
And
I didn't want to hurt him. I ain't gonna do. He wasn't hurting me,
Yeah.
but it was just like,
I'm
I
getting
just gotta
squashed
find.
here.
He was testing me. I gotta find my. I gotta make my
Yep.
opening.
Yeah.
I gotta make it, and that's exactly. And we didn't hardly call anything back then either.
That's
that was
awesome.
like
I
how
always
do you
figured
remember
he
a
didn't.
40-minute match? Like we had our bullet points, maybe 6, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, that's what you're getting.
And that's
towards.
all we did. And just like me and Bill tonight, only really had the comeback into the finish.
Yeah,
Everything else was kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just figure it out.
But I loved the WCW stuff too. Like that was the fact that like he would be in the crowd and then you would come out with a contract. The fact that your contract was worth more money than his contract, like
That's a good
whole
angle.
layer. And I like, but I always told him, I'm like, dude, you got to go back and watch the Nitros. And I watched both.
Dude, nobody wrote that for us, by the way.
Oh, that's
say that's-
literally what I was about
Nobody
to say. You literally just answered my
wrote
question. No one. Dude, I fucking
Dude, who
knew
would
it
allow me
because
to say something so fucking ridiculous?
It was amazing.
Got you a rental car with a cassette player.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking
You know?
perfect. So dude, I'm so glad you just fucking said that because I would tell him and like me baiting him into it. So we'll do reviews on like our podcast. So I'll be like, yo, we're watching this night of Nitro. We just do Nitro 1997 and blah blah. I'm like, it's the fucking Wild West. No one is writing the underneath guys shit. They just care about Nash. They care about Flair.
The main event
they
stuff.
care, yeah.
And
That's
we,
it.
And we didn't mind that at all. No,
Yeah,
But it was
exactly.
fucking odd, dude. Now that you
So
tell
when you
me
get guys
that,
with a mind like Raven, exactly. You know what I mean?
that's fucking great,
dude, even shit like today, like that segment where I came
Yeah.
on, like, you know, jumped around and JJ was like, oh yeah, his deal's done and all this stuff, and I was just like, you know, I had gotten JJ and Okerlund out there, and like just was like, you know, Raven was by the fucking thing, but he
Yeah.
was just like, JJ's like,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, come on, he's over here, let's go. And he was like, I find this is highly irregular. And I go, oh, come on, JJ, let's face it, you need the exercise. And I grabbed JJ
Yeah.
Dillon by the hand and was pulling him, holding
Yes.
his
So
hand.
crazy.
Like fucking ridiculous
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
That
he said
like,
nobody wrote
they
that.
would have to walk through it 5 times and then somebody's not come.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
I just
and no,
did-
don't say that.
Dude, I just did it. Okerlund, the same thing. I know Okerlund was, dude, I wish we did more stuff because me and Okerlund probably could have had that
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan Okerlund type
Yeah.
shit.
Good-
But
good moments.
in that thing, something happens where like he trips, like so you get Raven like gloms you or something like that, and then like right after like Okerlund fucking trips.
Oh, Okerlund.
No,
And
no.
he's-
He I remember that because what happened, and it was like one of his favorite lines he said, which meant a lot. He could have
Yeah.
just been being kind, but what happened was Raven took it, fucking tore it up.
Yeah.
And then fucking, I think he spit in my face. I came back, and then he pie faced me.
Yeah.
And I fell. Or no, he hit me. He didn't spit
Yeah.
in
Oh,
my
he hit
face.
you, yeah.
No, he fucking tore it up. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He hit me, I
Bumped you.
think. I took a big bump on the floor. The wire was there, too.
Yeah.
And then Okerlund's there going, wait a minute. And he kind of tripped.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's when he came down to me and he goes, Richard, you made a mess of yourself. And
Yeah,
I was like, I mean well. And I was like, fucking just, nothing was even like rehearsed
It was
at
so
all.
good,
best.
dude. It was so
Me
good.
knew what playing off of whatever, dude. I didn't know Okerlund was going to come down,
Yeah, and say
him
that.
to do that, and
Yeah.
say you made a mess of yourself.
But
the
it's
organic
great.
stuff is great.
because you grabbed them by the hands and made them do that, and then they, being professionals, I think JJ was kind of a dud in that segment, but Okerlund was awesome.
But Joey JJ was supposed to be kind of the dud.
Of
He's a
course.
talent relations guy, but he didn't.
It seemed like he just didn't even know what was going on.
I can't say he minded it. You know, there's little things like today we question it a million times, but when it happened there, I literally came back, and if somebody thought, you're so like, I don't care, we did it, man. What are you going to do? It's live.
Yeah,
Fucking-
exactly.
You don't trust me to
Live
put me on
TV, man.
worldwide.
yeah.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go to Worldwide.
But I wasn't smart enough to even realize that. I was just having a good time.
Which is
Yeah.
I was just fucking trying to. I was on live TV and I got
Yeah,
to do this and
How
that.
old were you at the time, too?
Oh man, 23, 24.
Insane.
Jesus.
Insane.
Yeah.
You know,
Very
but
cool.
but that was to me Bischoff, and I didn't even know what a fan he was of mine because he was going to make me like that version of Shawn Michaels. That
I
might
remember
not
I was hearing that they wanted to make you like
that
Shawn
might not have
Michaels.
been the best thing to do. So once again, maybe everything worked out for a reason. But Eric saw some
He
cool
was a big,
stuff
he
in
was
me.
a big backer for you. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, just because it was a gimmick, and also I fearlessly wouldn't care about putting certain people over, doing
Yep.
whatever. I mean, we did the fucking
You weren't a pain
ridiculous
in the ass to work with.
We did, yeah. I mean, all these guys are fighting and they're mad, and I'm giving Damien CPR in the middle of the ring, like, and that shit.
Very
that,
cool.
dude. That shit. Well, Raven came up with that, and obviously we had to put it over to Damien.
Yeah.
But we didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
We didn't fucking tell anybody. I think we
That's
told
insane.
Terry Taylor, who just laughed and he goes, "Don't tell me anymore."
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And
Whatever.
that's the good part. Like for Vince had done that to me, I think once or twice, where he was like, "Just don't tell me anything. I want to just watch it.
That's
don't
cool.
tell the agents anything."
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but then like you don't know 2 weeks later to be like, "God damn it! Why didn't
Yeah.
you tell me?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, I thought we were at a certain point in our
Yeah,
relationship.
I thought we had this kind of.
Yeah, once when you think Vince is,
Back on.
But man,
got your
that's what and that's what kind of happened tonight too. Like I told the guys, the big guy and the little guy that wrestled.
Yep.
I was like, guys work too hard at it, and that's fine, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to go out there and do it. So I can give you a little feedback, and then you go out there and maybe you do it 2 or 3 more times before you finally get it. But
Get
you're
it right,
still trying to do it.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, you got to make
Yeah.
1,000 mistakes before you can kind of correct it
Oh
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So-
yeah, whenever you start, I mean, the stuff we were talking about earlier, even like you were talking about when you first started a YouTube channel, you're gonna make tons of mistakes when you first get
Yeah,
started.
they're still fucking up there.
It's just
too.
it's just it's just part of the game.
Can't get rid of them.
Do you want to? I think we're getting.
We got the wrap it
go
up
ahead.
sign. Yeah.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, give yourself a. Tell us where do we get to watch you?
I'm
on
a
this?
Instagram,
horrible
YouTube.
self-promoter.
That's fine.
You can go to StevieRichardsFitness.com. I got the 12-week resistance band training program. What I like to be, say I'm so proud of the fact that it's the most affordable, accessible workout
Yes,
program
that's
out there. But the support is what I'm really most proud of.
Yeah.
Direct email support with me. Try to get back to everybody as soon as possible. Give them the answers I can. And also, if I don't know something, try to find it out because,
Of course.
they only grow as I grow.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
also at BWO Stevie on Twitter because some Iraqi guy has taken Stevie Richards and holds him hostage. But Instagram, the Iraqi dissident didn't get to that. It's
Sweet,
at
you got
Stevie
to it
Richards on
first.
Instagram, which obviously
Yeah,
Pepper,
a
you
lot of
have
good fitness
gone
stuff
down
on
the
there.
rabbit hole and
Yep.
that. He loved my home gym, didn't you?
The home gym, and then I liked. I think were you on vacation? You were doing the kettlebell workout.
Oh, I went to the mountains and I did that kettlebell workout was brutal.
It was great, man.
Yeah,
It's good
man.
stuff.
I love kettlebells. That is a whole new thing.
And I like it too because like you actually filmed the whole workout because a lot of times people like they post workouts like that but they cut it up so it's like you can't see how many reps they're doing.
Because they don't like to see themselves blown up and making mistakes or
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, like you were
No.
you were sweating, you were out of breath. That's the stuff because that's people
working
can
out.
people can fucking emulate.
He
that
looks
stuff.
like one of those CrossFit kettlebell guys.
I wish I was. I probably wouldn't have shoulder issues if that was the case.
I'd probably be better off.
I
But,
power lifted for years.
But the funny thing is about working out is that it's just fitness and wrestling are so technology
Hand in
too. Let's
hand.
put them all 3 in there. You could dive into this rabbit hole of all 3
Yep.
and never ever get bored.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the stuff. That's the beauty about it. And if I can give anybody a message out there, it's just like, don't be intimidated. Don't be scared to what you think is fucking up. Because what I look at that is you're just improving each time you try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
That's how you get better
yeah, exactly.
with anything.
Like literally, no one's ever went out there and done something perfect. I don't care.
Like your first try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
just-
The Steve Jobs quote is probably the most famous one of all, where he said, when it really comes down to, I'm paraphrasing it, when it really comes down, you see all these people in the world, all these different spots, they're really no smarter than you or I.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
true.
I've
And
heard
once
that.
you have that thing, everybody is pretty much the same.
Yep.
Yep.
And anybody that's putting themselves over in the locker room or saying how great they are and everything, they are the most insecure ones of all.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
And we've
great.
met quite a few of them.
Yes. Awesome.
Cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, man.
Yeah, dude,
That's
this is
okay. They're throwing the hook in on us here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A little bit, yeah,
we
we have
are
to.
definitely getting hooked right now. And I think they just want to go to the after party.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Thanks, Stevie.
Cool, man. Oh, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you
It's
so
my
much,
pleasure
man.
to talk to you. You ever want to have me back on? I have the studio at my
Yeah,
house, and
of course.
we can do that.
Skype you.
Oh, I forgot to push the conspiracy show that I do.
Please.
Someone.
Ben Hameen, Greek
Yep.
Guy Papadon, and Big Sal from ECW.
Oh, are you on that?
The Conspiracy Horsemen every
Oh,
Wednesday
yeah.
night. We're actually say a prayer. We're actually going back and forth with the History Channel about shooting a pilot,
Amazing.
which
Sweet.
will involve being at an independent wrestling show.
Sweet.
Yes.
And investigating a conspiracy. So
Very cool.
we're very happy about
Yeah.
that. And it's grown
Good luck,
to
man.
pretty good. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Along with the History Channel, if you haven't listened to the Tim Kennedy Rogan podcast,
yeah,
It's
a little bit of that.
right now, it's like they had 2 in a row. They had Big John McCarthy on, like
Mm-hmm.
the original ref, and then they just had
Tim Kennedy on, and he talks about the Finding Hitler like show that he's on, and he talks some crazy.
Oh,
shit
dude, he totally got away.
Yeah,
he totally got away.
It's wild. We could talk for another hour.
I want to say real quick, Joe Rogan. You have to watch his older stuff and listen to his older stuff because he has come like 180 on a lot of stuff and been almost now supports the narrative right off the bat.
Of course.
So I would, if you're going to listen to Joe Rogan, 2-3 years ago, Eddie Bravo is one of my favorite people. I can't wait to have him on the show.
My girlfriend literally just started doing jiu-jitsu with him yesterday. She had her second class today.
With Bravo, right?
I don't ask for favors, but we've been trying to trade emails back and forth. We need to get him on the podcast.
I would love to. If I can somehow bridge that gap, I would love to.
So that was the interview with Stevie Richards. Again, fucking awesome. I hope that you guys got something out of that because, I mean, like I said, that dude is just a deep dude. There's way more to him than it appears.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did because that was a big deal for us.
Definitely follow him.
Stevie Rich, I know it's on Twitter at Stevie Richards Fitness, and I believe it's the same. One of them's got an underscore in there. I'll check that right now. Actually, but he's got we get a lot of fitness questions on here. When he told me about it, I went into a wormhole on his stuff, and his workouts are awesome.
Yeah,
his diet, he puts up a lot of diet stuff, and it's definitely worth checking out. It is.
That was like one thing too, man. That I like. There's like times during the interview where I sensed that like he like kind of like looked down on his career a little bit.
Yeah.
And that bums me out because, and Stevie, if you're listening to this, honestly, like Jesse and I wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for ECW and like what.
And he was a major
what
part
you guys
major role.
did for our
generation.
Yeah, like
big
that
time.
was just, I mean,
big time.
Yeah, and like he's a great. Overall, he was a great person, like, and is a great person, and he's a person that we could all learn from, and not because of his like what he thinks are his failures. You know, the WWE thing kind of like came up a while, but like it's like, dude, you were there for
a long time,
fucking 10 years,
did a long run, man.
Yeah, and it was fucking awesome, and you wrestled for WCW, and like it was fucking awesome. And
I think I said this to him was that. If you're a wrestling fan, you know who Stevie Richards is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
sure.
that says a lot.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And just to clear that up, it's on Twitter, it's at BWOStevie, and on Instagram, it's at Stevie Richards Fitness.
Hell yeah. And he's got a bunch of like different workouts.
He's got a YouTube channel too with a lot of good. He does a lot of like tech stuff on there, but then he does a lot of workouts and he does a lot of interesting stuff too with like kettlebells and resistance bands and keto diet stuff. It's good shit, man. I'm checking it out now.
Checking out like after the podcast, like checking out his Instagram. He definitely has like, if you're a person that travels, if you're guys in bands that are like listening or whatever like that, like he has a lot of workouts geared towards people who travel.
Because I saw he has like hotel room workouts and that kind of shit, which is sweet.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, even that stuff, that's same shit. That's, you know, whether you travel or not, that's even stuff you can do at home too.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so it's good shit. But yeah, like we said, man, we hope you guys enjoyed that interview as much as we did because that was we're really glad we pulled that off and it came off really well.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I hope we get to do it again. And Stevie, if you're listening to this, you're a huge inspiration on both of us.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for giving us your time.
So, want to talk about what we got going on this weekend? You were going to House of Hardcore.
Friday is House of Hardcore in Napanee, Ontario.
Yep.
And then Saturday is Dreamers House of Hardcore in Messina, New York.
Yep.
And then Sunday is my birthday. And it's also 38 years old. And also Smash Wrestling in Toronto, Ontario, the Northern Tournament. And I'll be in a tag team match. So that's this weekend, guys.
Yep.
June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
I'll be with him the whole time.
Yeah, and he'll be there the whole time.
So if you
got a big 3-day weekend coming up.
Yeah, you see me in the crowd, hang out with me because I'll be there. Not wrestling. Don't touch my shoulder. I got atrophy now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't notice. You can just touch the bone. Straight. There's nothing here. It's just mush.
In the front there.
Straight, just mush. I got no front delt anymore.
I mean, I
back
thought you
looks
meant actually
weird.
like I thought you were gonna say like your arm. It doesn't. I couldn't tell or anything.
No, it's just the shoulder.
Oh, okay.
There's mush. There's no muscle there anymore.
I do want
completely
to.
gone.
I do want to make a prediction. Is that what I'm looking for?
Okay.
I think. I guarantee I won't find out what I'm doing on the House Hardcore shows till like the day of. I'm gonna predict I'm wrestling Billy Gunn on one of the shows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he on? I tried to look up.
He's on. I know at least he's on Friday. I'm pretty sure he's on Friday.
We got Bull James.
Bull James, Willie Mack, Brian Cage, dude. The Spirit Squad, RJ City, Dreamer, Angelina Love. Those shows are always stacked, man.
Yeah,
it's the best.
So you should come out to one of those shows, and we got an Airbnb right on the lake.
Yeah, nice romantic Airbnb.
Chilling. Not allowed to have parties, but
did it say that? Is that like part of it?
Not for parties.
Not for parties. 3 people, okay.
It's gonna be real nice. It's in Belleville, though.
Is that? I was going to ask you. Is it in Canada or New York?
Yeah, it's about 12 miles from Napanee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
It's
gonna be a nice weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got back from the UK.
And he literally just landed about
This morning.
5-6 hours ago.
Yeah. I said this morning. It wasn't this morning.
No, it was like 4 in the afternoon.
Yep.
We're in the Sweatbox studio right now, and this has been the hottest day so far. And you are already glistened over.
Yeah,
I got
a shower too.
I got drips. Great. I got drips coming down my face and forehead real hard.
Yeah,
so
Sweatbox studio is back.
We got a real hot summer coming up on us.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice.
This podcast might get a little shorter because
Kev, what do you got this weekend? You got Joe Hendry, huh?
Yep.
Joe Henry on Saturday, and Kev's diss rap just came out today. I didn't get to see it yet.
Where can people find the diss track?
Did Smash post it?
Yeah, I'm about to put it on my Twitter right now. So if you want to go to
Yeah, Kevin
Twitter,
Bennett.
it's probably there at the Kevin Bennett or Smash Wrestling.
There it is.
There it is.
He's got a Joe Hendry diss track with music video, as Kevin usually does. Yeah, Northern Tournament's gonna be cool. We got who's on that? If you're in Toronto, if you're listening to this,
Riddle's on it, right?
Or if you're in Bolton, Ontario.
If you're listening in Bolton, Ontario, our second biggest city,
go to the Smash Show this weekend.
Check it out.
It's gonna be nice.
Check it out in Toronto.
Yeah, like Riddle's on it.
Mia Yim.
Mia Yim's on it.
Is Kimberly on it?
I don't think. Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah,
because
I know they're doing some intergender stuff.
You're right. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Yeah,
say something.
That's the Northern Tournament Smash Wrestling this Sunday, June 3rd, which is my birthday. So if you guys want to, come hang out for my B-Day, that would be sweet. Young upstart Kevin Bennett versus Joe Hendry in the opening round. You got Kevin Blackwood from Buffalo in the opening round versus, why can't I think off the top of my head? Bennett, who's Blackwood working?
Jordan Grace?
You just told me today. Oh, Jordy Grace is on the show.
Oh, yeah. I got this right here.
Andrew Everett.
Oh, shit.
Kevin Blackwood, Andrew Everett.
So this is who you got. We got Seb's on the show, Sebastian Suave, Matt Riddle, Wheeler Utah, Mia Yim, Joey from Wrestling, Joey Mercury, Brent Banks, Joey Janela, Andrew Everett, John Greed, Jordan Grace, Kevin Blackwood, Kevin Bennett, Jason Cade, Tyson Dukes, Joe Hendry, Kimberly, and then you have Tarek versus Kingdom. You got Frankie TM, or the Beast King, as they go by, versus Vanessa Craven, and then you have Well-Oiled Machines versus the Super Smash
Brothers.
Again.
One of the best, good brother Joey Mercury is super jacked right now.
Yeah, he looks great.
Colin Delaney just wrestled them, and Colin goes, dude, he has abs that just wrap all the way around.
Yeah,
it's
I love that
they wrap all the way around his back.
He goes by Joey from Wrestling now.
Dude, that's
my favorite.
When I one of the last times I did extra work, him and Fandango, I could tell we're goofing around about something.
Yeah.
And I'd already talked to Joey throughout the day, and he just turned to me and he shook my hand after I'd already seen him all day. And he goes, "Hey man, I'm Joey from Wrestling. Good to see you."
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Amazing.
Joey from Wrestling.
So good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool to be around. I mean, I'll be in the crowd, but it'll be cool to be.
You should. We don't want to go too long here, but you should talk about the shows you just did, because those were fucking the Kick Ass UK shows.
We just did Smash. There you go. We just did Slam Dunk Festival in the UK, and it's awesome. Like the first show is Leeds, the second show is like right outside of London, and then the third show is in Birmingham, and then we played the Garage in London.
Is it? I thought it was the Garage.
But it's that's how they say it over
Is
there.
that okay?
It's Garage here. It's
Yeah,
Garage there.
that's sweet.
But you have to say it the way they say it. It's Garage.
Well,
It's right across the
big
street
deal
from the
is-
famous Cock. If
Yes. Oh, is
if you know where that is, it's right across the street.
That was, but you guys sold that place out in like minutes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking awesome.
And then like it was, I don't know, like really cool. You know, the first day we played in front of probably like 1,500 to 2,000. The show after that, like the one outside of London, it seemed like we played in front of about 5,000.
Yeah, so it was wild.
And then the last one we played in front of probably about like 2,500.
And you said you didn't take it easy on your shoulder at all.
Fuck, man. I'm telling the first day I didn't even wear a knee brace. I didn't even wear my like
You just
knee
planned on
wraps.
sitting still.
I was like, I'm gonna be standing still. Like,
Yeah.
We started with Coin Has to Say. First note hits, and I just sprint across the stage, jump, running around. And as I'm doing, I'm like, "You fucking asshole! What are you doing?"
But that's like almost like a repetition thing. Like that's what you've been doing.
I
for like 20
know.
years.
I know,
So
man.
it'd probably be harder to stand still.
It's so weird, man. It was just so weird. And then like the last show was, there was no room on stage, so I couldn't move.
Yeah,
So
which probably worked out for the best.
yeah, and it was like really weird when I got off the plane today. I was like, my legs feel really good today. It's because I wasn't jumping around. I'm yawning right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. It was just, but I never like, my shoulder never like alerted me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
not
never said like,
once,
whoa, slow down.
Nothing happened where it was like, oh, that sucked.
But then even what about like the after the crash, like after the
was
when your
fine.
adrenaline goes down after the
Yeah,
show?
I mean,
no, it
like-
wasn't like, oh fuck.
No,
That's
no.
I think that's huge.
Like that was the one big thing was like getting in and out of my bunk on the bus.
Yeah, you're saying
was
because you
like-
could like plant off
I
your
actually
hand.
had to like do kind of a like a plank because I was on the bottom
Yeah,
bunk, and yeah, I kind of had to the plank, and I actually had to put like a load on my shoulder
yeah,
to like see if I could get up. You know what I mean? And
and it was okay.
it was okay. I mean, it's a little like today. It's a little sore. Like I can definitely tell. Like it's telling me today. Like okay, bud, you had a real good go for
Yeah.
5 days.
Let's not start thinking we can go back to the gym or something.
Let's just. You haven't even started PT yet.
Yeah,
And that was like the wild thing too, man. It's like shit was happening. Like, hey, can you hand me that? Yeah, sure. And I just like reach up, grab it, like it was nothing,
Yep.
and like not anything heavy, but you know, like just in the bus. It's like, hey man, can you hand me a bottle of water? Sure. And then you know, I reach up like it's nothing, and then hand it to him, and like it almost like kind of maybe solidified my like lore with like the people who like Every Time I Die and probably my bandmates where
Yeah.
they're just like, this dude is like a superhuman.
yeah. Like, what the
For
fuck?
some reason, he just had a shoulder surgery and he's like using his shoulder.
not selling it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
And that was like I don't know, man. Like thinking about it now, like everyone that told me where I was gonna be at this point,
yeah.
I'm not.
Well, that's like, I don't know. Like, that's every instance I've had with like doctors, especially in this.
I'm not
area.
talking doctors. I'm talking about dudes who've had their rotator cuffs.
Oh,
like,
really?
fixed.
Yeah.
Are just like, oh man, you're gonna be in like a recliner for a month.
Yeah.
You're gonna be doing this, and you're gonna have to blow on it, and then this. And it's just like, no, man.
It's just not happening.
I'm just a different cut of person.
That's it. That's all it is, man.
So yeah, it's a really weird thing. I guess the only thing I can really toot my horn to is that I can take pain, I guess, better than most people.
Yeah, but you've been doing it right too, and you've been playing it safe. Like you said, you've taken CBD and Termic and all that good
Yeah.
shit, and that shit helps. As long as you do it right, and like we were talking about today, is now as long as because now that it's feeling better,
Oh,
as long as you keep being smart about it.
But I just want to start PT. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like one of those things. Was like,
That'd be a
get
good
me
test.
in something that looks like a gym,
Yeah,
so I can like
doing something physical.
know that I can do something.
Yeah, not
Is
just sit
is where my head's at right now. But
yeah, that starts next week, man. It's good shit.
yeah, whatever. It was cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
I'm still gonna go hiking. My legs are getting bigger. That's cool.
Yeah, hikes.
I wish someone was here. Like who was it? Oh, Big Frank.
Put over my big hiking legs.
Take a look at my fucking legs, dude. I'm fucking 245 right now.
Yeah, squats, leg press. No, man. I fucking hike. I hike, bro.
I'm up 10 pounds. I'm fat, probably, from eating shit. I just got off a plane. I'm probably bloated as fuck. Just fucking, you know.
Yeah, but I went on my first hike with you guys last week. We did it was like 7.
Yeah, we did about 7 miles.
Miles was fucking. Yeah, it's good, man. I'll go again with you guys next week.
It's good to get out and just do it. Just to like get out and away from.
It's totally different.
Cities,
I didn't bring my phone with me, so I totally unplugged.
Yeah,
and it's just like I said this a couple times. It was like I'm embarrassed that gorge is like a half an hour from my house.
Yeah,
and like and I've never been there in my entire life.
Yeah, man.
It's just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I've always heard that about the Buffalo area. Like, we have so many like national treasures like that around us. Like, it's embarrassing that I don't do them more because that was, like you said, it's a great way to done. Like, dude, there's times where you say, look, you're in fucking Arizona or something.
Yeah,
like looking up at the rocks and the fucking running waters. It's like, holy shit, dude.
That's the thing for me, man. Like, through going through like this recovery is just like not sitting in a chair, not sitting in a couch, not like pouting.
Yeah, it's the perfect way to do it. Like you said, getting out of that box life and getting out in the sun and moving around.
It's huge.
Watching Puff take his shirt off and sprawl out on the flat rocks.
Yeah, Puff trying to take breaks every 10 minutes. God damn him.
But I mean, I think we said it here before. Literally, Puff has asked about gorging every single day.
He comes with me all the time.
Yeah, sweats his ass off.
He understands it, man. Like that's, you know, I don't know. I think there's like benefits to shit like that, and like
mental and physical.
Dude, honestly, it's so weird and kind of like hippie-ish and wackish to say about like the whole like Fountain of Youth thing. I think stuff like that just kind of like resets you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, yeah. I do it every day or every other day, and
I've been reading fucking On It Brother Aubrey Marcus's book.
Yeah,
I got the audiobook, and like literally the first thing I do in the morning is because I'm such a pile of shit when I first wake up in the morning is I roll out of bed, and in me and Laura's house, I can literally be out the door in like 5 steps.
Yeah.
So I roll out of bed, I put on mesh basketball shorts, a pair of sneakers, and me and Hogan go outside. Yeah. And I just walk around with him for like 20 minutes. Like I say, when you wake up, you get into the sun, and it like resets your clock. It gets rid of all that grogginess and stuff. And now when I eat breakfast, I'm like ready to go. Whereas before, I would just sit and eat breakfast and be like, and try to drink coffee and kick out. And dude, it's so much better.
Yeah. It's
just get outside, move around.
Earthing, dude. I'll get back.
I'm gonna start earthing with my feet.
Earthing. It's earthing. It's that time of year, man. It's earthing. The first thing I did when I got home, I just went in the backyard and just laid in the dirt.
Just sprawl out.
Yeah. I just sprawled right out on the grass.
Fuck yeah.
And just
stretch.
Was long. Being long.
Yeah.
It's a really nice thing.
Stretched out a little bit.
Yeah. Had the dog and just sucked in some nutrients from the earth, man. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I was in the air, dude. Too much of that fucking air.
Well, I mean, especially for you coming from international fucking travel, you got to kick out, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Hannah comes in tomorrow morning and like she wants to go to the gorge and do a hike, and she just did,
which is insane. She's taking like a red eye here from like Los Angeles.
She doesn't want to go right away. We're gonna sleep for a little bit.
I would say she's like insane enough that she probably would.
Yes,
like 100%.
When she lives like. She's surrounded by hills.
Yeah.
So she's been hiking in California, and her like calves, something's going on with her like Achilles tendons in her calves or whatever like that. And like I was like, you don't have to go to the gorge. And she's like, no, I just can't start with an incline. I was like, well, we usually start going down, so like, we'll be in a decline. And she's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Oh, there's no incline, then it's totally okay.
Like, she's been going to this like a massage therapist and like
for Achilles tendon.
Just in general, body. She started like doing jiu-jitsu at 10th Planet with Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
And her neck got fucked up. Like,
yeah, well, I heard
the first time.
Especially when you're not used to that, people pulling on your necks. Yeah. That's serious shit.
And her back and her neck got fucked up. So she found like a really good like a sports massage therapist by her, and like she's been doing that like twice a week. And the dude like worked on her this morning and like they did like grafting, like that grafting, whatever, to her like calves and her like Achilles tendon, and she's like, the guy literally said, "You're going to be sore tomorrow."
Yeah,
she's ready to hike.
Yeah. Oh, good, because I'm going to go hiking after I fly across the country.
She's a maniac.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good shit, man.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Hey guys, we got a big weekend coming up. It's getting real hot in here.
Yeah, it's fucking really hot. Come see us, and then hopefully this weekend. I mean, we're going to be around a lot of dudes. Hopefully, we can get maybe we can get some interviews.
We're going to grab the travel rig, and there's a lot of interesting personalities at House of Hardcore, so we're hoping to grab somebody.
So we'll grab some. We'll hopefully grab some interviews each day. We have 3 days with 3 days with a gaggle of weirdos. So hopefully we can get a few of them on.
Maybe Frankie TM. That would be a good one on Sunday.
Man,
if we could just grab him for 20 minutes.
20 minutes would be insane. Already. All right. So let's Heat's in this room right now.
Heat's in this room. I keep fucking up the catchphrase and saying Heat's in the ring, guys. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I gotta say I'll do it the proper way.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Heat's in the ring, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.